Hi everybody. Happy Pride Month and welcome back to Lookouts. I just wanted to say, before we begin, if you're watching this and you're in the closet right now and it's dangerous for you to come out, or you don't feel ready to, or you simply don't want to, that's okay. Coming out is a personal thing and you shouldn't let anybody else dictate how you do it. You do it how you want to. Coming out can be very liberating, but depending on how you do it or to whom, it can also be dangerous, and you should always prioritize your safety over your visibility. Your life has value. Having said all that, let's get back to the story. The dry desert air is warm in your lungs. Blazing afternoon sun bakes the ground beneath you as you walk near the edge of town again. Your throat feels tight, feet sore. There's a gentle pounding of blood in your head, accompanied by a familiar piercing ache. Everything seems hazier than it usually is. Thoughts are swimming. You're fine. Just keep walking. You almost bump into Joseph as he stops short, looking around again, searching for anything you might have missed. You look as well, but the sun seems too bright somehow. You look down at your feet to shield your eyes, staring at the tiny dunes of your footprints in the dust. Alright, so where to now? I think there's only one place of interest left. You heard what he said, but it didn't quite stick with you. Yeah, sure. Should we get going there then? Again, hearing, but nothing stays. Your thoughts feel like just caught fish wriggling from your hand. Alright then, let's go. Yeah, let's keep moving. Joseph starts walking away, and you follow. You try to follow. Your feet move, but they don't land where you want, and you stumble a little. Joseph looks around at you as you stand there, staring at your feet again. Hey, what's the matter, partner? Huh? I feel a little dizzy. You doing alright? Didn't say anything. He placed his hands on your shoulders and twisted you to face him, looking down into your face. Yeah, you're looking a little sick there. Let's go sit down a spell. He started walking with a hand on your shoulder, guiding you over to a ledge with a shallow drop you could both sit on and hang your legs over. You felt better sitting down, more stable. You hear the rustle of Joseph unclipping something from the back of his belt, seeing him pull a round canteen between the two of you. When's the last time you had a real drink? Must be mighty thirsty if you're feeling that dizzy. Of course, how could you have forgotten? You've been riding and walking all day, but hadn't had a drop of anything since you set out. Although you weren't sure what Joseph had brought with him. What's that look for? You think I got liquor in here? He chuckled a little and unscrewed the cap, letting you smell it a moment before taking a long gulp. Just water, see? Get it down you before you collapse on me or something. You sheepishly took the canteen from him and gave it a little wave in his direction as a cheers. You tilt it to your dry mouth and take deep gulps for a few seconds, licking water drops hanging on the edge of your lips after. Bit warm for my liking. Can't beat cold water from a clean stream, but better than drying out like your mom was washing. This is your in-universe reminder to hydrate, speaking of which. You take another swig before handing it back to him. Thank you. Don't worry about it. Just pop up next time. Almost hit the dirt just because you didn't say anything. Sorry, it was just... We have a job here. Didn't feel like I could waste time. Pfft, can't even take time to sit down and drink? You're unlike most I met. Who put a snake in your boots anyway? You gotta slow down a little. Maybe. I mean, what do you do to relax when you're off the job? Relax? Yeah, you know, relax, unwind, take a load off. I know what you mean. The question just caught you off guard a little. You weren't sure how to answer. You'd never given it much thought. What do you do to relax? The gang is always busy with something. Traveling, hiding out, making trouble. Not a lot of time to not do anything. I guess I play cards sometimes. Mostly just solitaire. Respectable. You win much? Nope. Ain't about winning anyway. Just helps to pass the time. Yeah, I know what you mean. Me and the boys usually play some rounds of cards, sometimes betting. Although some of them are some real sore losers. Sometimes it's easier just to let them win and avoid the issue. I beat one of them at poker 5 times in a row, and I swear the rest of the week he was giving me the eyes. Found my hat full of knife holes one morning too, but I think it was just to scare me. At least I hope it was. He gave out a loud guffaw, the real and unrestrained kind that made you doubt a second if the canteen really was just water. He had a nice laugh, he thought. Someone actually enjoying themselves. Maybe it was just nice to hear a laugh that wasn't done at you. You a gambling man? A flutter in your chest, at the end of the ribs. Not really. Never had much to gamble in the first place. It always seemed like a waste. I can respect that restraint. Don't always have to be about money, mind you. When I was younger, me and Papa used to... He stopped for a moment, thinking and scratching his neck, his train of thought slowed by some forgotten memory. We used to play cards after dinner, and a lot of days when I came home, I'd bring pebbles from the river. I always liked how smooth and pretty they looked. All sorts of colors and shapes, all of them different. We kept them on the mantelpiece, and when we played cards, we'd bet with them. He always won, but it was too much fun for me to ever be mad. I think he did let me win though when I was betting big and was going to lose one of the rocks I really liked. He always knew which ones were my favorite. He never wanted to see me cry. Can't think of any other reason he would have lost to me. Suppose I ought to thank him for teaching me. You weren't sure what to say, so you just gave him a soft smile. Family could be so complicated. You didn't want to say the wrong thing. Oh, you know what? He dug into a pocket and produced a tattered-looking packet in his hand that you recognized to be playing cards. How about some Ving de Noon? You played that before? And we can bet with He twisted around himself, looking for anything you could use as stand-in betting chips. You saw his eyes settle on a small pile of rocks for a moment, but instead noticed a stray feather, barely holding onto the back of his hand. He plucked it and placed it between you both, twisting how he sat to face you better. We can bet on this feather. We'll do a first of 5. You get it if you win, I'll keep it if I win. You swiveled yourself round to sit cross-legged and face him. Didn't know you were so desperate to gamble you'd use your own body. Hardy har. Just thought it'd be more interesting than rocks. Oh, well I thought you were a rock lover, Mr. Rock Collector. Take them on the open road, your own little rock circus. A regular Barnum. Joseph couldn't help but smile, even through his fake pouting at your teasing. I don't know if J.H. Barnum has quite the same ring to it, frankly. J.H.? Yeah, as in Joseph Harrier. My initials. Oh, of course. So, do you know how to play Ving de Noon? For those of you wondering, I think this word is French for 21. It's blackjack. It's literally blackjack. Yep. Right, let's play. Like I said, first of 5 wins. Alright, so you don't have to win this. You can lose and still progress through the story, but I am going to try to win. Not off to a great start. This isn't rigged in any way. According to the developers, this minigame is fully random. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. In this case, I win. Nice. But we are tied up, and my cards are low. I really want to skip these animations, but I don't want to exaggerate the choppiness of the recording process, so I'm just gonna have to deal. Heck yeah. I'll take another one. And I'll stand. I don't like to go over, like, 17 or 18, personally. Although in this case, it bit me in the ass. Well, I'll take a hit. Damn. I'm not very good at cards. I mostly play solitaire when I play cards at all. Ah, piss. I'm getting my ass kicked. In my practice run for this update last night, I ended up winning, but that might not happen. Oh, sick! I'm catching up, but I gotta win 2 more hands. So much for that. Oh well. Sorry, bucko. House always wins, eh? Ah, well, it's still a game of luck, end of the day. Well played, sir. He picked up the feather, but to your surprise, held it out to you. Here, take it. But you won? Well, I don't have much use for a stray feather, do I? Got plenty of them anyway. You keep it. You took the feather in your hand, twisting the smooth quill back and forth a couple times between your thumb and forefinger. It was thin and tapered and the color of coffee. Thick, uneven stripes of cream white ran all along it from the middle. Thank you, Joseph. Don't mention it. You pocketed the feather carefully. We should probably, get back to it. Long as you're happy to and can stand steady, then I'm ready too. You swung yourself onto your knees and stood up with a sprightly jump. All ready. Let's get a wiggle on. Yes, sir. Sheriff should know something, surely. Yes, sir. I doubt we're the only ones who've come looky-looing before. The sheriff did say to come find him if we needed anything. Let me try that again. And sheriff did say to come find him if we needed anything. Get a wiggle on. Interesting turn of phrase. You walk the same direction you saw. Excellent wordplay, word reading today. You walk the same direction you saw Sheriff leave. Down toward the closest edge of town, through what might be considered the main street were this town bigger. Sheriff's office is modest, one of the smaller buildings in town. A short, square stone block with barred windows and a lopsided wooden door. As you get close to the squat building, Joseph slows down and raises an arm to your chest to slow you as well. Okay, partner, what's the plan here? You and I both know Sheriff is going to be the most paranoid, owl-headed son of a gun in this burg. We can't go waltzing in there shooting our mouths off about just anything. Yeah, you're right. All we really need to know is if Sheriff is going to put up a fight. Somehow I feel like they're not your usual lawman. You look around thinking for a bit. 2 halves of a tattered sign swing in the wind on shattering chains in front of the building. It seems it had said Sheriff once, and the edges of it had the remnants of bullet holes, shattered and charred wood. I say we tell him what's really happening. To call Joseph's face incredulous at that moment would have been an understatement. He scoffed a little out of curiosity, rubbing his chin with a feathered hand and trying to think what you could mean. What are you saying? We admit why we're here? Acknowledge the corn? Again, interesting turn of phrase. Sorta. I think we can tell Sheriff that there's outlaws coming, and we're worried, like, about the town. That's a dangerous play. Look, Sheriff is gonna have a good idea why we're snooping around if we don't have a simple, honest reason to throw off the scent. It's easier to lie when there's some truth to it. Joseph rubbed his chin again and sighed. I think so too, but still I can't help to feel jumpy walking into the lion's den. You knew what he meant. For people like you, the sheriff's office was never where you wanted to wind up. Walking into the office together, Joseph ducks to clear the doorway. You find the inside to be much more well kept than the outside, which had clearly seen some wear and tear in its time. Sunlight and dust in equal measures came in through the windows, landing upon the desk of Sheriff, who was currently rapidly filling a piece of paper with pencil in hand. After you close the door behind you, you both wait for a few seconds for Sheriff to notice you. Before you can politely knock on the closed door for attention, Sheriff raises a finger on a pencil-holding hand to ask for a moment's more waiting. This was followed by a hasty scribbling onto the end of the piece of paper, before the pencil was thrown onto the desk with little regard. 2 keen eyes landed on you and Joseph.
Howdy there, fellas. Thought I might be seeing you again.
Howdy again, Sheriff.
And what can I be helping you both with today?
Well... Joseph turned to you, locking eyes. You saw the slight, wild panic of someone caught in a trap and looking for a way out.
Do you protect this town?
Sheriff looked miffed, unsure how to respond, like someone had just asked if the sky was blue.
As much as anyone else who lives here, yes. What does that mean? I thought you were a lawman.
Sheriff regarded you with some annoyance, still seemingly puzzled over what you were asking.
I think I see the confusion here. I'm not a lawman. In fact, I'd say I'm not a man at all, or a woman.
Sheriff kept looking at you both, trying to gauge your reactions. Whether you could be trusted, you guessed.
My name is Sheriff. That is the moniker I've chosen, and I'd ask you kindly to refer to me as so, or not at all.
Joseph tipped his hat politely. Not a problem, Sheriff. Do you run this town, then?
That would also be a no. I'm a founder, you might say, but I don't solely run this town. You boys are asking some real strange questions. Is there something I ought to know?
Joseph had faltered, and now you did too. This isn't what you just planned. You were just saying the first things that came to mind, fixing on Sheriff with a calm pair of eyes, but a shakiness in the knees. Maybe you hoped Sheriff would say something that would change things, change what you were both there for. Before you could fall over, Joseph placed a hand on your shoulder, and you tensed before he gave it a light squeeze, stepping in. We heard from some other fellows on the trail that there were outlaws around, coming this way even.
I see. Well, you boys shouldn't worry. We know how to take care of ourselves in clemency. We don't get trouble around here often, but we make sure to run them off before anything starts.
So you been here a while then?
Yeah, ages.
How'd you end up living here anyhow? What's the story? You said you're some kind of founder?
Don't get it twisted now, I'm not really a founder. Well, hard to explain. I used to be a marshal. Got sent here 30 years ago already?
And you liked it so much you stayed? Jessica's a little bellow of a laugh, but Sheriff's is much more half-hearted.
No, well, I wish I could say things back then were as good as they are now.
Sheriff stood up, grabbing the cane by the desk that thumped softly as Sheriff started pacing a little through the small office, stretching stiff legs.
You boys know this used to be a mining town, right?
Of course.
Well, I used to be the lawman of this mining town. Greenhorn out on their first assignment, trying to keep the peace here. What a joke. The miners had it out for each other. There was nothing but bad blood and gold fever. I learned all too well during that time what it looks like. Gold fever in the eyes. And what people will do to satisfy it. That town was a constant powder keg, and I was only one marshal. It felt like there was nothing I could do. I felt like I needed to do more. I needed to do something to calm the place. I asked the marshals who sent me, they don't give a hoot. If anything, they tell me to keep hands off, let them figure it out themselves, shoot them if they step too out of line. That never sat right with me. If there's something you should know about me, about how I conduct my business and take care of this town, it's that I care about justice. Real justice. Not the justice others suck up to, claim to care about. I learned very quickly that the law is not about real justice.
Sheriff punctuated those words, said with such fire, with bangs of the cane on the floor.
The law of the marshals is not, the justice I recognize. It's why I took on the name Sheriff. I wanted the name for myself. They didn't deserve it. Strange, I know. Thank the Lord, much good he's done me, that I met at least one like mine in that town. Sometime in the winter, we had a caravan arrive in town. People who had been traveling long across the trail, needing somewhere to stay for a spell. Had some to sell as well, furs and such, and anything to help get by. Friendly folks, I enjoyed their company. Spent the night drinking with them round their wagons. The miners didn't take kindly to them, didn't trust them. That was a week I'll never forget. Constant accusations of stealing and flare-ups, shouting matches almost ended in drawn irons. The miners were so darn jumpy and owl-headed about the slightest things. 3 days later, a miner turns up dead, stabbed in his sleep. The miners all accused one of the traders of doing it, a Mexican fella. Claimed it was his knife that did the deed. I had to arrest him. Held him in this cell here.
A tap of the somewhat rusted metal bars with the cane rang out into the room.
The traders all came to tell me that I was wrong, that he'd never do something of the sort. The Helts pushed me in the right direction. I'd already had some suspicion about the miners' claims. A lot of accusations had been flying around about the Mexicans and Indians traveling in the caravans. I did a little investigating and found that the miner had been killed by one of his friends. Another feud about gold, some stolen or missing, and his so-called friend had killed him for it. The miners wouldn't believe it, insisted the man in the cell was guilty. I wonder if maybe they just couldn't see what I could, see things through my eyes. It felt like a mockery of justice, of everything I cared about. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Early the next morning, I asked the traders to leave and take their friend with them.
Sheriff notices how intently you both are listening, watery eyes flicking between you both.
Anyway, that's a lot of blabbing from me already. Long story short, I kicked the miners out, for the better.
You make it sound like it was real easy. How'd you get that many miners to just abandon gold?
I did what I had to, and I have no regrets or weight on my soul for it. Really, getting them out, that was the easy part, I suppose. We moved and rebuilt some of the town, further from the mines. We all wanted a fresh start. The years since have been hard, very hard. I don't have this stick because I've been sitting on my jollies and gazing at sunsets. This town may be small, but it's a lot of work to keep going.
Sheriff turned and went to sit at the desk again, the chair creaking beneath old bones.
Don't take my grapping to think I'm not thankful for this place, though. I've done a lot for it, but it's done just as much, more even, in return. How do you mean? I can't say I've ever really had somewhere I live do much for me.
Sheriff sighed softly, looking out the windows into town, a clear view of the cobbled-together houses cascading down the shallow hillside.
Clemency has given me somewhere to live. I had many hopes when I chose to stay in this town, to try and make something of it. I've worked hard to earn the respect of those who live here, as a person, not as an authority. People here don't see me as an oddity. They don't fear me. They don't mock or interrogate others for how they live. This ain't just a community, it's family. We're all far from our homes, from the people who made us. But here we can make ourselves what we want to be. A town of runaways you don't gotta keep running anymore.
Sheriff stared out the window for a few more moments. The sun was a bright golden shine, crossing wistful eyes. Turning back to you, Sheriff pulled back into the desk and got comfortable once more.
Anyway, that's enough sap for me. Those outlaws all you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I think so. You wished you had more questions to ask, more to say, more to hear about, but no other words escaped your maw, except for,
thank you. Don't mention it. Thank you too for the tip-off. I'll keep these old peepers peeled.
Yeah, thank you for talking, Sheriff. We'll be on our way now, but I did have one more question for you. You still with those marshals? In contact with them?
I quit the day I rebelled against the miners. Never heard from them again.
Joseph nodded, tipping his hat, and Sheriff tipping in turn. You stepped out the station into the blinding sun together. We'll stop here for now. I'll see y'all next time. Until then, take care. Bye.